Welcome everybody to another episode on the finished article, All Things Sky Blues. Guess what? We're back. It's a beautiful Sunday. What more can you ask for? And without further ado, let's get into it. But I'm going to go through some admin stuff before we kick off. As always, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. We are on the race to 200. So a big shout out to those that have subscribed and helped us reach the 100 subscribers. And you know the drill, guys. You can see our Twitter handles below, so follow us on the finished article on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. We're also got a new show on the Twitch on Friday night, All Things Boxing, so definitely tune in for that. And as mentioned, we did do the draw for the 100 subscriber, but they haven't unfortunately reached out to us. So if we don't hear anything by the end of August, we will do that draw again. So there is still time for those that haven't subscribed or made their profiles public to do so. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I'm going to bring the main man on the show, Mr. Richard Home and Adam.
Hey, mate.
How you doing, guys?
You're good. Looking good, guys. Looking good. How you guys doing?
I think I'm about recovered from that now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was tired when I was at the game, and then I tired myself even more celebrating that goal.
It was like deja vu yesterday. I thought we were watching the Nottingham Forest game again, then I had to realise we were playing Reading last minute.
It was a much more dominant performance yesterday than the Forest game, I thought.
Easily, mate. That's got to be one of the best team performances over 90 minutes I can remember.
Yeah,
that's true.
Can't recall many as good as that. From start to finish, we were in charge of that game. I mean,
against
they broke and countered, but
against the side who are one of the favourites to be up in the top six this season.
Yeah, I think we took advantage of the fact that they had a few key injuries and players missing, but at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you, right?
Exactly.
So,
what do you reckon the change of form is down to with City? So they seem to be more attacking, going on the front foot. I mean, Robbins has clearly instilled a mentality to take the game to oppositions. I mean, get your take on that, guys.
I think there's just a little bit more quality in the squad. You know, it's not necessarily that we've got certain positions, I think, the players are better than what we had last season. But overall, I think the squad, there's a far better, level of ability across the entire squad rather than just what's coming off the bench. Last season, we had players that were doing okay in League One and coming off the bench in the Championship and maybe either not ready or just not good enough. This season, we've got guys that, one or two question marks over them, but certainly you feel they can do a job. Whereas last season, it was a case of just putting someone on because that's all we had.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I'm going to bring up the first banner anyway.
We're not making subs for the sake of it now.
Nah.
We're bringing on subs that can change the game or give us something different.
It was good to see Gordon come on yesterday. I wasn't sure if he was going to play or not, but Alan's doing as well. Is that his second contribution?
Do you know what? Right, let's get into both of them. Right, Alan and Sheaf. Right, we both questioned them at the start of the season as potentially, why have we signed Sheaf and Alan needs to go out the door, and those two, wow. Alan's got a point to prove clearly.
We were questioning Alan in the pub.
Amazing.
In the pub before the game yesterday, we were questioning Alan. We're saying, he's a good League One player.
Nah, he's got a point to prove, and he's showing it, right? He's showing Robbins why he should be in and around that team. And last season, I don't think he was doing that. Okay, he might have been injured. I don't know what the circumstances around, him were. But certainly so far this season, can't fault the guy. Same with Sheaf. He's definitely not the finished, article. I'll get it in there, yeah. But he's got room for improvement and he's getting better with each game. And yesterday he showed why Robbins was right to probably shut out the money and bring him in.
Well, wasn't Alan injured for most of last season anyway, so he didn't really get a chance to
yeah, I think he was, and I think that's probably, he might have been carrying a little niggle as well when he did feature at the start of the season, so maybe that's what it was. But certainly looks very, very good so far this season.
He missed most of League One season, didn't he? And obviously because of it getting ending early, he would have played a lot more. He was starting to come into form before the season got suspended. So,
I mean, before we go into yesterday's game, I mean, I'll bring up this one. I'll get your thoughts on this because I know we didn't do the podcast last week. So, obviously, beating Blackpool away, and then obviously the Northampton. So, what's your take on the?
We won't talk about that friendly against Northampton. That don't count.
We'll
leave that one alone.
Well, none of us went to that game, did we? I mean, it's a little bit concerning that because he pretty much changed the whole team, didn't he? Bar one player. So But you get in the early rounds of the League Cup, you regularly get upsets. They're hardly upsets anymore. Would have been nice to have got through and put a little run together, but ultimately,
we don't need the games.
The league's a bread and butter.
Well, as Adam said, it's more of a friendly than anything else. So it was a chance for the guys to go out and stretch some legs. I'm not really interested in the League Cup anyway.
The QPR still in the cup.
A QPR still in the cup. I'm going to check that actually.
We've got a week's rest. If they've got a game Tuesday or Wednesday, well, that's good for us, isn't it?
Potentially,
Rich is planning ahead, eh? Rich is planning ahead. I think they still are, actually. Fair enough.
And then if they put a second string out anyway, makes no difference to us. But
we should be able to beat them regardless of whatever side they put out. First stream, second stream. I mean, I enjoyed the Blackpool game. The Blackpool game was a good win. Again, we battered them. We seem to have this funny dilemma. We create loads of chances, but we're not able to convert all of them. My hair.
Yeah,
we had this discussion last season, didn't we? When we were doing the season review about his conversion.
More than anything, I want to see this guy just hit like 5, 6, 7 assists, couple of goals mixed in as well over the next few matches. But I just don't see it happening for whatever reason. Psychologically, it gets near that penalty area and just goes to pieces. Even the cross he put in against Forest was a terrible cross, but we still ended up scoring from it. But no, the play before it, 10 out of 10 to get past the two players, and then the cross is a 1 out of 10. It's so frustrating to see it, and it's time and time again. Same yesterday. Every time he was in a promising position, I didn't even bother getting out my seat. I saw number 10 on the back. I was like, nah, he's not coming. He just hasn't got it, and it's such a shame.
He had 2 shots on target yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, but one was hit from outside the box with power straight at the keeper, and then the follow-up was, again, real team effort to the keeper. So you can say, 2 on target, but I could have done just as good, I think, from that position and not scored.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's one of them. I really want him to do something in the next couple of matches because I think he needs it for his season and ours. But I think our season rests on whether O'Hare can just develop any sort of like cutting edge in that final third. Even if he can't score himself, if he can just start laying some off. That could be the difference between whether we finish sort of 14th, 13th, or even have a late push for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have said that at the start of the season. I'm telling you that now. I wouldn't even had us anywhere near the playoffs. But certainly from what I've seen so far, if we follow this with O'Hare doing what he needs to do in that final third, playoffs aren't without reach.
I thought the Forest game, I think we probably... I didn't think the Forest performance... I mean, very good last 35 minutes or so in that game, but I didn't think the Forest performance was... It was a great result, but I thought it was against a poor side.
Yeah, we were sloppy though, weren't we?
I was looking at this 2 bottom half teams playing each other here, but from what I saw yesterday, based on yesterday's performance, there's no reason why we can't be up there.
No.
Here's one game.
Actually, Richard, you're pretty good with stats. I mean, compare this start to this season. How does it compare with previous seasons?
I think the last time we had to start this good in the Championship was 07-08 under Dowie, when we got 10 points from 4 games. And then it all went downhill after that because we nearly got relegated.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
I'm not getting carried away here, but certainly the signs are positive at the start.
Yeah, it's the performance I'm encouraged by. Obviously delighted with the result, but...
Yeah. Now, we were unlucky against Barnsley as well. I mean, we did have that penalty. We won't talk about that.
No, just couldn't score from open play, but that's going to be our problem this season. Is like the person that seems to be getting involved in it more times than not is O'Hare, and he's got to find that now. That's the only thing missing from his game. Everywhere else in the pitch, you can't fault him. He's 9, 10 out of 10 every week without fail, but get him near that penalty area, and it's just complete opposite. He's probably one of our worst players. He's the one guy you don't want to see anywhere near it, and you shouldn't be saying that about your most creative player.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to bring this next topic up because it kind of links up, but where does Robbins need to improve squad-wise? So I'm guessing we want another forward, or are you guys happy with where we have the club right now?
I think we're all right. We just got to get them fit. I think the 2 he's going to go with is Gokares and Godden. I think they're the 2. I think Waghorn's not a starting player, but he'll come on and be an impact sub.
Gokares was outstanding yesterday.
Yeah, he almost scored off a header.
Yeah.
He
But he was being battered for 90 minutes, Gyökeres. The amount of times they had like a little nibble or they pushed him, pulled him back, they were just looking for a reaction from him. And the fair play to the guy, just got himself up and just carried on. I probably think 6 or 7 times I saw it off the ball and the ref didn't spot it. Sneaky, but teams are doing that now. I mean, Barnsley targeted O'Hare. I think he was fouled 10 times, was he?
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
Or 11 times, something ridiculous.
Barnsley and they had 7 yellow cards in the game. Majority of them were fouls on O'Hare.
Exactly. So yesterday, they've targeted Gyökeres as the main man. So teams are now scared of what we're doing, and they're picking on one player and just doing everything they can to stop them from doing what they do.
At 1-0 up, Reading were wasting time with half an hour left, and then at 1-1,
the goalkeeper started wasting time from the 47th minute.
47.
Right? The ball went out of play, and he just walked so slowly back. But went to put the ball down on the corner of the 6 yard. Then he moved it into the middle of the 6 yard box. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? There's still 45 minutes to go.
And then
so as far as I'm concerned, they got exactly what they deserve, the same as Forest.
They're wasting time at 1-1. We're trying to win the game.
Yeah.
That's a team that's going to be, people expect to be challenging for promotion next season, this season. So
we've got teams running scared, and it's good to see.
No, that's true. I think it's just the way we're set up to play. I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm going to bring up a stat that Rich shared with us yesterday, or ahead of the podcast. So I'm going to let Rich talk this one through because he loves this stat.
Yeah, 22 points from the last 10 games, and obviously, what we did at the end of last season counts for nothing now. But it's encouraging that over the last 10 games, our form's league-winning form.
So let me ask this question. I know because we asked it at the start of the season. What are you guys optimistic about how things are going, or are you just taking it game by game?
It's still, we've got to get to 51 points.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Right, the start's amazing. I'm enjoying this, but if we can get O'Hare doing what he needs to do in that final third, and if we just tidy up and tighten up some of that play, because every single player yesterday made 1 or 2 passes where you think you had a bit of time to think about that and do something different, and they gave possession away, and there was probably 6-7 times where that didn't need to happen. If they just iron that out of the game, then we're real contenders and could push for a top 6. And I wouldn't have said that start of the season. So
that's what I wanted to hear Adam actually say it, because we've been going back and forth on this, and I'm glad someone actually came out and said it. So Rich is thinking about safety. Adam wants promotion.
We've got to improve there, right? We can't carry on as we are, because we won't get there just by how we're playing, right? We've got to tighten up and tidy up, and we've got to find that cutting edge in the final third. But that doesn't take a massive amount of work, and I don't think we need really to bring anybody else into the squad. What we've got could get there, but we've got to stay injury-free to do it as well.
Yeah.
Well, Liam Kelly's also injured, isn't he? So
exactly. He's a championship player, right? Let's be honest. He's possibly a starter, right, when he's fully fit. So but I don't see how you're going to put him in now at the moment.
Yeah,
who do you take out for Kelly right now? You can't, right? You can't drop anyone.
We've had one of the highest amounts of bookings in the division so far, haven't we? Not sure who are the highest, but they're mainly not silly cards, but ones that are just taken for the team.
Yeah, we've had a couple like that. We've also had a couple of silly ones though, where you've noticed, right, a couple of our guys have been fouled, and it was a blatant foul. Referee hasn't given it, plays carried on, and then obviously we've sort of reacted to that.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple of them this season in both matches, so just need to calm our heads a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if we're picking up too many yellows, the suspensions will come. The important thing is that the yellows don't turn into reds.
Well, Sheaf
players out for 3 games, but
Sheaf loves a tackle. He loves to get in and gets tackles, and he's the Monday tackler.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, all 3 of our midfield players yesterday, O'Hare, Hamer, Sheaf, even Allen, all get stuck in. All love to just try and win the ball back. They were all at it, so you can see why they're going to pick up the odd yellow card here and there. And the defenders certainly don't shy away from a challenge. I mean, Waghorn, one of his challenges, the way he hit the guy was incredible. Perfectly clean challenge, but one of them challenges where if he doesn't get the ball, it's possibly going to be a red card.
As far as I'm concerned, as long as we're not giving away free kicks in dangerous positions, which we haven't been.
No.
If we pick up silly bookings for fouls in the opposition's half, so be it.
Yeah.
If it breaks down attacks.
Exactly, yeah.
No,
we need to give another shout out to Moore as well in goal. Such a calm.
Yeah, he had a great game. I think he's a signing of the season so far, actually.
Possibly. I mean, so to give you an example of how good he is, Da Costa was slightly out of position yesterday. He shouts at Dabo, who's just in front of him, and you see then Dabo give a shout to Da Costa, and he then tracks back those 8 yards. You know, he just sort of wandered forward. We were sort of on the attack, but then Reading were breaking back against us. And that's what you need from your goalkeeper, to spot that danger and say, right, okay, there's no guarantee the defender isn't going to get past Da Costa anyway, but he's actually got to get past the player as opposed to just have the space to run and do what he wants.
I thought Da Costa was better yesterday.
Yeah, he was.
Than he was against Forest.
Yeah. Him and Martin really struggled against Forest. They were a bit all over the place, slipping, sliding, dodgy passes here and there. They just weren't at the races, either of them. But definitely Martin looked quality yesterday, and Da Costa definitely an improvement. I still think Dabo's the man for right wing back.
Yeah, that's it.
It's very hard to replace him. And when he plays at the back, he sort of takes a little bit of our attacking threat out of the game.
Yeah.
But
so is there anybody you'd like to see brought into the team based on what you've seen so far, or are you happy with the lineup that Robbins is putting out?
I'm happy with his lineup. Like,
I don't know. I'd like to see Dabo put on the right wing, so we need a centre back that can play there. I know we've got that Salter Clark.
Yeah,
he was injured yesterday.
Yeah, so we need somebody who can play centre back to put Dabo on the right, because Da Costa played. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't bad, but Dabo's far better in that position. That's where he needs to play. So if you want to go 3 at the back, you need Dabo right wing back, so you've got that attacking threat. Other than that, no.
Okay, good. So another thing I want to bring up is, and you guys are gonna love this one, the atmosphere at the CBS Arena. What you guys have been to obviously a couple of games. What do you reckon?
Well, it's better than the Rico Arena, isn't it?
Damn right.
It's certainly different to how it was a good few years back.
Very positive.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no negativity there whatsoever. So a player plays a misplaced pass, there's not really any sort of moans and groans. They just sort of get on with it because they know that we're going to pick it up. And I think, the players are performing to a high level and the fans are reacting to that.
I think yesterday we went 1-0 down. We didn't deserve to be 1-0 down. I think if that had been a few years ago, even in that scenario, if we'd been playing well and gone down behind against a run of play, I still think the vibes and the atmosphere around the place would be a negative one. And I still think the fans would have gotten the players back. But
certainly a little bit, yeah.
Yesterday, the fans just kept supporting them, kept getting behind them.
Yeah, it was great to see.
Did you reckon it makes a difference that we've got fans behind the goal now?
I don't know as much of that, but certainly the noise that has been generated from that corner is helping the players.
A friend of mine sat in the North Stand for the Forest game. You were there as well, weren't you? Said the atmosphere in the North Stand weren't that great, but I don't know because I've not been there since.
It was okay. It was okay, but you all know the noise is in the corner.
Yeah.
But I think it's just nice maybe to see fans behind the goal. But yesterday, obviously, with the reduced attendance, it's down to 16,000. There weren't that many behind the goal, so it looked half empty. Well, more than half empty again.
Loving the Gustavo chant.
Yeah, what is the chant?
And the Callum O'Hare chant. Well, I can't sing its proper lyrics on our podcast.
But yeah, the thing is, though, what I liked about the players as well is they actually took the time to go and stand call to the fans as well. There wasn't anyone that went straight back into the tunnel. They all came out and, gave the fans, that thanks back. Because I think they realised that support from the fans probably helped raise their game when they needed it. And it's the same against Forest.
The connection is better than it's ever been.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Since I've been supporting the city. They're celebrating at the whistle full time.
So did you reckon the 6 or 8 minutes of injury time that was added on yesterday, do you reckon that was justified? Now, I know we're all going to say yes, but...
Yes. They put 6 up originally, and then they were wasting time during the 6. So
the thing. They can have no complaints whatsoever, and the same with Forest. Okay, there was more. We scored in time that probably shouldn't have been there, but if you're going to waste that much time in the 35 minutes, then it's going to get added on. Fair play to the officials, because there's been times like that where they've only added on 3 or 4 minutes. You think, well, hang on, how come we've had like 6 minutes and 5 minutes before? We've got 3 minutes here.
I spent most of the game yesterday, most of the second half, Dave, who was sat next to me, I was slating the referee to him for most of the game. But to be fair, it was probably, especially, I've seen the penalty back since, and at the time I thought terrible decision. I've seen it back since, not Stonewall, but
from his angle, they're going to get given it.
Yeah, he gave the ref a decision to make.
He didn't give a referee a choice. I think he was going to give it either way.
At the time, I was getting frustrated with the ref, thinking, why is he letting stuff go for them and then giving it against us. But end of the day, he added the time on for the time wasting, so I can't knock him for that. And to be fair, the ref probably weren't as bad as I was saying at the time. But
I know he let a few go that he definitely shouldn't have, certainly from our perspective. And there was one or two for them that, okay, he probably hasn't seen it because their players have done it off the ball. So, the ball's travelling sort of towards our penalty area and they're doing it at the edge of their penalty area, little niggles and stuff. But that's where you need your linesman watching that and picking that up. There's, like I said, at least 3 or 4 times Gokra has ended up on the deck.
Yeah.
Off the ball and the referee hasn't spotted it. So obviously you can't give it if you don't see it. But
if we didn't score that winner, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be being a lot harsher on the ref. I don't know on the officials, but
you know what? The funny thing is that I saw your message at the end of the game, Rich, because obviously I wasn't there, so I nipped out, and you were like fully deserved. So I was like, is he saying fully deserved point or has something just happened? So I checked the score and I was like, oh, we've just gone and done it again. I was like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
But as Adam said, we want to try and avoid these last minute winners and try and actually keep them into that.
Score last kick of the game. The opposition ain't got any time to get an goal and an equalise, so we'll take that.
On that, right, it's probably not unrealistic to say that we could have had maybe as many as 15, 20 goals this season.
Yeah, I was about
that's how many chances we've created.
Yeah. I was about to say, we just need someone who's hungry to put in the back of the net.
The thing is, though, a lot of the times, though, the chances aren't nailed on, right? They are just like, tough angles to sort of get something and work from. But it'll come. I think we'll definitely stuff someone at some point, not too distant future. Hopefully, we don't got to wait to the last game of the season again, like last season with Millwall. That was coming. Oh, at some point it was coming. We knew it was coming, but yeah, I don't want to wait to the last game of the season for it.
And what did you make of Alan's goal? I thought it was a really good finish.
That was a beauty.
Yeah.
But how many? About a minute.
He's been on the pitch about a minute tops. I think that's probably his first touch of the ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, straight on and just bong. Happy days. Can't complain with that. But that's Robin's, right? He's got to take credit for that.
The subs have been the difference maker. The subs have made the difference.
But he hasn't just made the subs though. He's changed formation with it as well.
Yeah.
He's not just doing like for like. He's changing it. So he went from 5 at the back to 4 at the back. So yeah, it worked a lot better, I thought.
And this time last season, fans, well, not a bit later in the season, but fans were getting frustrated about him not making the changes in the second half. But
yeah, I was one of them.
He seems to be getting that right now.
It's just because, right, when you're losing a game of football, right, you want your manager to react to it. And the fact that he wasn't doing anything about it, even if it was just, personnel change, even if he wasn't going to change the formation, just do something, because clearly what was happening on the pitch wasn't happening for us this season. And certainly towards the back end of last season, he started doing that. And I don't think I think the two sort of go hand in hand. You've got to make changes and react to things when you're losing.
I think the squad is stronger now, though, so we can make the players we've got on the bench add something different. Whereas I think maybe last season you look at the bench and think who could come on here and change the game.
Would you want Bakayoko coming on?
Exactly.
No disrespect to the guy, right? He always worked hard, but he wasn't a championship player. He always worked and he always gave an effort, but he just wouldn't have been good enough. But now this season, you look at the bench and we've got you've got Walker, you'll have Waghorn, you'll have Godden coming on.
Yeah.
You certainly look at that bench and think, okay, these guys could offer something different and do something in 15, 20 minutes. Last season, like you say, didn't have that.
Interestingly enough, Bakayoko has 1 goal and 1 assist. That's
it's in League One now. But all the best to the guy.
Yeah, like I say, he just wasn't good enough for this level. Again, same with Biamu, right? He just, worked his socks off, but we had to play him.
I've heard some fans say that Biamu should be offered a short-term contract.
Well, he hasn't got a club yet, has he? He keeps turning up. I don't know if he was there yesterday, but he was at the Forest game as a fan. Has he quit football just to support the city full time?
Who knows? Like I say, I can't knock the guy, his personality and his connection with the fans. He's awesome, but on the pitch, for me, not good enough for this level. I would personally wouldn't. Not unless, okay, if we have like 2 long-term injuries and that's all we can bring in, bring him back. That's covered maybe to the end of the season. But we've got 4 strikers there who potentially ready to play. He's not going to get ahead of any of them.
With the transfer window shutting, I think the loan window is carrying on. But with the window shutting in a couple of days' time, is there anyone that you think that the guys need to, Robbins needs to sign? And did Craney sign in the end, Rich? Do you know?
No, I'm not. Didn't hear anything about him.
Apparently, he's still training with us.
Okay.
But I haven't heard anything
Maybe there's fitness issues or something. I don't know, because you'd think we would have made it unless it's down to negotiations or something.
Could be why he's asking for money
would have been made by now either way. Either Robbins would have seen enough of him to know whether he wants him or not, unless the only thing I can think of is if it's a fitness issue, or I don't know if he's had injuries or anything.
Maybe he's holding out there. I mean, he's what, 33, 34? Maybe he's holding out for a first team opportunity in a lower league or something like that. You don't know, do you? Because he's not going to be a first team player for us.
Yeah, possibly.
He might not want to be a bit part player. He might want to try and get first team and get another 30 odd games under his belt. So you don't know what he's after.
Yeah,
no, that is true. That's true. I mean, one player I want to give a mention out to, and I'll get your thoughts on this, is Jodi Jones. What do you reckon of him so far?
Yeah, fine. Nothing. Like I say, he looks a bit scared to take the players on, and that's understandable. Just needs time.
Yeah. He played the full 90 against Northampton, didn't he?
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
I wasn't at that game, but it's good that he got a full 90 minutes in.
Was he on the bench yesterday? Because I didn't even have a chance to look at the bench. Was he on the bench yesterday?
I don't know, to be honest.
Let me have a look.
I didn't even check the bench.
Yes, he was on there.
Yeah, I thought he might have been. I did hear his name, but I just wasn't sure if that was to do with something else.
No, interesting. So I believe going forward we have QPR next Saturday, last game of August.
One place below us in the table. Not that table means anything at the moment, but they've had a good start to the season as well. Or are they above us or below us?
They've got some good players. You know, when you've got players like Charlie Austin playing for you, attacking wise, they're definitely going to cause us some problems. Yeah. And the thing is, they're not going to be playing high balls up for like our guys to, get ahead on it. They're going to be playing it to feet, and that's where teams are more dangerous against us, certainly.
I just hope it's a better performance than last season away at QPR, because that was probably the worst performance of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So they drew 2-2 yesterday with Barnsley at home from being 2-0 down at halftime.
Yeah, they're looking good. So,
and I believe who signed for them this season that was with us.
Yeah, there's a player they were after that we were after as well. I can't remember who it was now.
Isn't it McCallum?
Yeah, that's it. McCallum's
on loan. Yeah.
On loan.
I heard Dabo just sticks it to him first 2 minutes of the game. nothing like, not a fan or anything, but just when he's on the ball, just like, gives him one and just said, yeah, that's for leaving us in the lurch.
That'll teach you.
Perhaps it could be anything. QPR might have offered to pay a bigger proportion of his wages.
Yeah, they will have. Absolutely.
Or anything like that. So
I don't even think he played yesterday. Jeez, that's
Norwich won't want to send him out on loan just to not play. So,
but they do look strong. QPR, for me, they're going to be one of the better teams this season. I think Fulham and West Brom bang up there. I still think Sheffield United will go down. I know that sounds outrageous, probably to say, but look, they've struggled, and that's exactly how I thought they'd go.
It's getting out of that mentality. When you get relegated, even though you've dropped down a division and you're playing against weaker teams, it's still, I can imagine it's a difficult mentality to get out of when you're losing every week to suddenly.
Yep, but also from what I hear, the club are trying to offload a few of them, and a few of them want to leave as well. And obviously, if that doesn't happen by the end of the transfer window, you've got a small group of players, maybe 7-8 guys that either aren't wanted by the club or don't want to be there themselves. That rubs off.
Yeah,
and that negativity around the training ground, that's how it leads to. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them go down, because they've got a lot of players there on. They probably say they're on decent enough money. Certainly, maybe the top end is sort of close to 20,000, maybe a bit higher than that, and maybe other teams just can't afford to pay that money. They want the players, but can't agree wages, and they've got 2 years left. Why would you take a cut at 32, 33 years of age? You're not going to, are you? You're just going to sit there and take the money.
So, I mean, Blackpool are pretty much where they're expected to be.
Yep.
Tonight, obviously, as you just mentioned, Forest. Well, Forest always start rubbish.
Birmingham had a good win yesterday. I mean, I predicted them to go down. I said out of my 3 predictions to go down, they were the ones that I thought was probably the least likely to go down, because I said Derby and Blackpool.
Yeah, Derby, Blackpool, and Sheffield United were my 3. So
Birmingham were the other ones I said, but they had a good 5-0 winner. Were they away at Luton?
Yeah.
yesterday.
It's funny just looking at the table right now. So City are 4th, but we have the lowest goal difference out of the top 6. That's I don't think
as long as we're getting the points.
That's true. That is
point rate prizes.
Yeah, only 1 goal conceded in open play as well, which is pretty good going.
Very true.
And it was a quality goal as well. You know, it wasn't like it was just, you know, we didn't sort of like, you know, give them an easy one. I mean, it was a great cross and an easy finish. But that cross by for that guy for Forest was one of the best passes I think I've seen for a long time. You know, I'd hate to say it about opposition teams scoring against us, but there's not a lot you can do about that. Once he's in that position, that pass was just unplayable.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You can't really knock it. It's not like we've conceded a bad goal. And obviously the penalty is contentious, but, you know, you've always favoured a striker in that situation, unless it's Gyökeres.
Well, I don't. But let's talk about that penalty miss. I mean, who would you have thought would have taken the penalty? Because people were saying Waghorn.
Waghorn, definitely, because that's what he's known for.
Godin's our penalty taker, isn't he? Well, last season Godin and Walker took them. Yes. We didn't get many, but I think we only had 3 all season. But neither Godin or Walker are on the pitch.
Yeah.
Walker started that game, and imagine he probably got assigned penalties, but then he went off injured. So it probably hadn't been discussed who was taking it. But Waghorn took one in the friendly against Wolves. So
yeah.
But if a striker picks up the ball and wants it, you don't take it off them.
No, it's one of them. It wasn't even a bad penalty, though, was it? Really, it was a good save as well. It wasn't the best penalty, but you can't really say it was a bad one either.
I think he's made up for it.
Yeah,
yeah, he did. You know, he actually had he had the chance of the keeper saved off the header. He's actually proven to be quite a nuisance to opposition, because I think last season we didn't really see much of him because either injury or just coming on loan. So no, it's good to see him doing well.
There was a moment in the game yesterday, a long ball forward.
Yeah.
And Gyökeres was chasing it. He beat 2 defenders to the ball, and I just thought it was one of them where he had no right to get to the ball first, but he did. And it was I just thought absolutely superb from him.
Indeed, absolutely, guys. But I think what we'll do is we'll call it a wrap for today's episode. As always, Adam, Rich, it's a pleasure having you on board. But let me go through the admin before we hit off today. But as always, leave a like, subscribe, and comment. You know the drill, guys. We're on the race to 200, so get this sharing around with everybody. We are going to be doing the redraw for the 100 subscriber, unless they get back in touch with us in the next 10 days or so, or even less than that now. So you never know. Keep subscribing, and as always, follow us on our Twitter handles below. You can see them there. You know, if you need to reach out to Rich, you can see his handle there. And Adam,
mine's deactivated at the minute, actually, but I need to get back on it. I give up social media every so often. Like, I brought myself a notebook to write stuff down in now instead of
Rich is going
on for dinner and stuff.
Nice. Rich is going old school. But as always, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And until next time, take it easy. Play up Sky Blues.
Yeah, play up Sky Blues.
Sky Blues.